Well, let me jump to one more thing real quick. And then we had the big healthcare reform a couple years ago.
Sure.
The Affordable Care Act is its name. Um, there's a lot of different. We're all still trying to figure out all the different parts to it. It seems like it was
Mhm.
only about that thick, pretty small for a federal
Mhm.
piece of legislation.
Right.
What's your opinion on that piece of legislation? What would you change? What would you maybe not change? What would you prescribe as a different prescription for the healthcare sector of,
Mhm.
which is it's a large sector of our private economy too. What do you, what's your opinion on that
Sure. It's
issue?
1/6 of the American economy, and I've said this a number of times. I think that President Obama deserves an A for effort, but the product he delivered us is an F, maybe a D, and that's because I think all of the incentives in there are wrong. And so, here's what I mean: if you are running a business and you have 51 employees, 100 employees, you have to provide health insurance for your people. Well, it is cheaper for you to drop under Obamacare. It is cheaper for you to drop your insurance and pay a fine
Mm.
per employee, okay?
And then not cover the
The,
employees at
you
all?
don't cover the employee, you pay a fine to the government, and then you send your employees, they go to a state or federal government, a government exchange of some sort,
Mm.
where they have to get their own health insurance. And so I don't think that those incentives are right. I think that having the government dictate to religious organizations what type of care, and we saw that over the summer, the big debate over whether or not the Catholic Church was going to have to provide the abortion
Contraception or
pill and
something, yeah.
yeah. And so I think this is an overreaching bill and it needs to be repealed. I think that there are some good things. Um, you know, Having your kids stay on their insurance for a little bit longer. I think that most people find that to be a good thing. I'm a little, I can take that or leave it, to be honest with you. And I think that having a situation where the insurance companies can't deny you coverage is a good thing. However, when you talk about that one specific piece to Obamacare, note it did not say that they had to give you affordable coverage,
Hmm.
okay? And so that if you are someone with a pre-existing condition, right, and you kept continuous care throughout, and for some reason you wanted to try another health care provider, you know, your insurance bill, because you have a pre-existing condition, is going to be a lot larger than anyone else's, someone who doesn't have a pre-existing condition. And it could be, you know, unaffordable. And so that, take a woman with breast cancer or a history of breast cancer in her family, and maybe she's had a scare or two. She can't afford that coverage. So Obamacare didn't fix that, is the point I'm trying to make.
Hmm. So do you still feel or do you feel the solution uh, is going to be found in the private sector to cut
No.
down the costs? I mean,
Hmm.
because the whole thing that I think people react to with healthcare is the cost
Right.
and the escalating cost of that. Um, what's going to bring that down?
Well, there's two things that can bring it down, okay? One, we can start purchasing insurance from across state lines,
Mm.
okay? More competition will bring healthcare insurance down, okay? And the second thing is tort reform. Look, the CBO estimated that that would save $54 billion in Medicare cost,
Well,
okay?
going to the trial lawyers?
That's exactly right. And because they're aligned with Democrats, Democrats didn't pursue that.
Mm.
And so there are things that can help bring down the cost of medical care. I personally think that the future of medical care should be that it is divorced from the workplace. Okay, so in other words, hey, don't spend $5,000 on my coverage. Okay, give me the $5,000 and let me go out there and shop for the coverage that I need. You avoid so many problems when you do that. You don't have to worry about your boss not covering your contraceptive care. You don't have to worry about your boss going with one provider when you want another provider. You get to have flexibility and you get to have choice. People want choice, and I don't think that Obamacare takes that into account. When you have to say things like, we have to pass a bill to find out what's in it, you probably have a bad bill. And the fact that it was only signed on by Democrats, not one single Republican vote, that's probably a bad bill. And I think that is what started all the poisonous infighting. It had been going on for a long time, but I think that Obamacare was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back.
Well, I'll tell you what, that half hour just flies by, as it always does here on this show, especially when I'm not doing the talking. So, Chris, why don't you just real quick, where can we find you on the web? And,
sure.
You on Facebook, everywhere?
Yeah, we are everywhere on the web. It's chrisfieldsforcongress.com. That's chrisfieldsforcongress.com. Look for us on Facebook and find us on Twitter.
All right. Well, go out and check out Chris. And if you're not clear, by the way, if you're not sure you're in CD5, that's Crystal, New Hope, Robbinsdale, Brooklyn Center,
Golden Valley, St. Louis Park, Hopkins, all of Minneapolis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, hey, if you don't know, go to the Secretary of State's webpage and type in your zip code. I know you got to see a picture of Mark Ritchie, but it's not so bad. All right, Chris, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Hey,
good luck
Andrew.
to you.
Thank
All
you.
right, till next week, folks. Another show in the can, number 139.